Hey, tonight we're going to do some chicken breasts. I'm going to show you how to come home with a huge pack of chicken breasts, break them all down, and get them ready, prepped, marinated for your weekly meals, okay? So when you pull it out of the package, obviously there's going to be some fat, some things you want to cut off, unless you're buying hand-trimmed. Hand-trimmed's very expensive, so hand-trim your own. So you're going to need your large chef's knife, you're going to need a paring knife, we're going to need this as we get the chicken ready, and you're going to need some plastic bags, so have those ready to go. If you have fake nails of any kind, make sure that you wear gloves. I do not, because all I do is cook in the kitchen, and so I have short chef nails. That's what I have. But if you do, make sure that you wear gloves before you break down all this chicken. It will get up under there, and it's just not something you want to happen. Okay, so I'm going to cut off all this excess fat. Any right here where this was attached to the bone. I'm going to get rid of this tendon here. Runs up through there. You might see me switch back and forth between my chef knife and my paring knife. Depends on what feels best to me at the time. Tend to work with the little knife a little more on these chicken breasts than the big ones, especially if I'm being delicate. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm trying to run through 20 pounds of chicken, and delicate is not on the agenda. Okay, so don't make yourself crazy on this. If you got this hand trim from the butcher, that is about what it would look like. Okay, he might scrape that little pocket of fat off tops, but it wouldn't be much more than that. Okay, this is of course garbage. Also, when you're doing this chicken, if you don't think that you can get through the chicken within a half an hour, you need to make sure that you keep it on in an ice bath so that you're not going to have any problems with salmonella. Okay, so we're going to start with, excuse me, get a paper towel here. If you'll notice, I'm kind of being careful, grabbing with my elbow. I'm not touching my whole roll of paper towel. I don't want to contaminate it. We're going to start with the thin cut. I use this for a lot of things. Very sharp knife is what is the most important thing here. And if you'll notice, I'm starting on I'm not cutting on the long way, I'm cutting the short way. So I am going to just go in here, and now the colder your chicken is also, the easier this slice will be for you. If you'll look to see how thin I'm getting that. Okay, that's a sharp knife. If you go to do this, a couple of things you can do. Kind of roll your chicken up a little bit, get a little tight in there. If you have trouble with this, freeze them for just about 15 minutes ahead of time, and that will eliminate that problem. If you'll see, I'm cutting forward like this, and it's just a rocking motion. Once you've mastered this, it's super easy to do. I'll use this for stir fry. I'll use this for fajitas. I will use it for the chicken cacciatore. I find that if you cut the chicken in big nuggets, it tends to be a big dry piece of chicken, and I really don't know too many people who like that. Okay. Now, what we'll do later is marinate that. So let's put that to the side. Okay. Second cut that I want to show you is more of a pounding than a cut. So you're going to need a Ziploc bag. Put your chicken in there, and what you want is where the skin was attached. That's the side that you want to pound. Move this back into the iced portion of our chicken. Okay. Now, the Ziploc bag thing might seem like a waste to you, but once you've had raw chicken fly in your face a couple of times, these Ziploc bags are priceless when you go to do this. Using the flat side of your mallet, I've never used that side. This will just tear up your meat, this texture side. So you're going to use this in a sliding pounding motion, okay? So I'm going towards the middle, and I'm sliding out, okay? And on this one, want to get it as flat as possible before it, you don't want to tear it. And you will find with certain chicken breasts as you go to do this occasionally one, it will tear or fall apart. But if you are careful with it, when you put it on the grill or in your pan, it'll come back together. The nice thing about this, besides the fact that you're getting the chicken all one surface, you're getting a thin piece of chicken. You can get marinated quickly, and when you go to grill this or saute, the whole thing takes like 7 minutes tops, depending on how thick you get it. Okay, that is as thin as I can get this one. If I get it any thinner, it's gonna. If you'll see the top is starting to tear. If I get it any thinner, it's just gonna rip to pieces. All right, so I'm gonna pull this out. We'll go into the marinating of this all later. And this is the other beautiful thing. I don't know if I mentioned this. Now, it looks like a nice, huge piece of chicken. You can cut this in half. You have 2 portions, and no one's thinking they're getting a little tiny piece of chicken. This works really well. Okay, now, here's the third cut I want to show you. It's going to be much the same as what we just did. The only difference is not going to I don't want it like a medallion. I don't want it super thin. I want it somewhere in between. Normally I'd stop and wash my hands between each one of these things, but I'm trying to get this all in the same video. Okay, so on this thicker end, so using that lighter, you know, but it's that same kind of slide. All I want to do is make it the same width as this end over here. So I just kind of look and feel. And that's good. That's all I want to do on this. Same thing. I'm going to cut this into 2. I'm going to stuff these. I'm going to cut it like that. All right. So here's number 1. Take your small paring knife and make a pocket. Okay, see? Got a nice pocket there. So I've just left some in the perimeter. And same here, likewise with this. I'm just going to make a pocket. And in this we could do stuff it with many things. We'll talk about that later. Alright, so got that ready. And then your last one is chicken fingers. Depending on how you want them, how long, how thin, how you're cooking them. You kind of have to look at the chicken breast and determine how you want to cut your chicken fingers or how you want them to look. Again, the same thing is important, is that you want them about the same size. So I'm just going to make some long, thin ones here. And if you think that's too big, you can always cut them in half. You can make nuggets out of that. This one is a little thick, so I'm going to cut it down a little bit. Alright, so we've got 4 nice chicken fingers there. Perfect for the oven fried chicken that we talked about the other day. Okay, well that's it on getting your chicken home from the store, taking all this cartilage off. If you have the butcher do this, it's going to be a lot more expensive. You can pay $1.77 a pound at Sam's is what I paid for this chicken. Didn't take me long to trim it, get it ready to go. Alright, we'll work on the marinating next. Thanks.